What is up? Welcome back to Reggie's World Sports. I'm Reggie, and today we're going to get into these Atlanta Falcons and this matchup that they have against the Kansas City Chiefs this weekend.
Big as the Super Bowl.
Before we get started, I just want to tell you guys to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share to your friends, and do all that good stuff and support my channel. And so with that out of the way, again, we're gonna get into this matchup between the Falcons and the Kansas City Chiefs, and a pretty fascinating, game coming up. The Super Bowl champs are rolling into town. They're 2-0. But if you watch those Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, they haven't quite looked like the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. As a matter of fact, one could argue that they should have lost last week to the Cincinnati Bengals if it wasn't for, the defender coming up, with the useless, not necessary pass interference play that allowed Kansas City to get in the field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal. Like, if it wasn't for that, Kansas City arguably would have lost that game and they would have been 1-1 instead of 2-0. But they're 2-0. And again, they haven't looked their best defensively. They're 29th in total yards allowed. They're 30th in passing yards. And actually, no, they're 31st in passing yards allowed, and they're 16th in rushing yards allowed. So they haven't played the best defensively. But I also believe that that's part of why I'm actually kind of nervous for this game for the Falcons, because that the Chiefs and especially Patrick Mahomes, who also hasn't played his best football, you just know that team is capable of just exploding and putting together a masterclass type of game where they just flex their muscles and they just showcase the Falcons that okay, Falcons, we're still the Kansas City Chiefs and we're the Super Bowl champions and y'all gonna have to get through us. And so it's gonna be a fascinating game from that standpoint. And so, look, as I look at this matchup, I think the key for the Falcons defensively is they're gonna have to put some type of pressure on Mahomes, because we all know what Patrick Mahomes is. If he has time to survey the field and pick and just look at receivers and just look at who's open, he's gonna pick you apart. And he does it better than anybody. And you look at what he has at his disposal. Now look, Pacheco being out hurts their running game. And I think it hurts them to a big degree, because I think he's kind of like, he's their spark plug guy. He's the guy that gets the momentum going for the Chiefs on offense. And so not having him is a pretty big deal. But they do have weapons. You talk about Rashee Rice, who he's having a nice little breakout year so far. Like, he's a guy that can explode and make big plays. And obviously you got Travis Kelce, who's arguably maybe the greatest tight end of all time. He's really good. And he's still, like, I know he hasn't been up to the greatest start, but he's a guy that can get going and he can make plays. And so you have weapons like those two guys. And so for the Falcons defensively, they're going to have to, between Matthew Judon and Grady Jarrett, like, they're going to have to generate some type of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And so, and you just know that even with the limited amount of weapons that maybe Patrick Mahomes might have, especially without their running game, their running back, he can still go off if you let him. And, hey, there's a reason why I consider him to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And so they're going to have to be on their A game defensively against Patrick Mahomes. And now on the other side of the ball, you do have the offense. I mean, you do have, look, Bijan Robinson. I consider Bijan Robinson to be the best running back in football at this point in time. To me, I think the guy is special. The guy can do everything. like I've said in past episodes, he can run between the tackles, he can run outside, he can hit the home run, he has speed, he can make you miss, he can juke, he can back cut you, you can run routes, you can run them through screens, you can run them through the flats. Like, he can do it all. Like, let's just Bijan Robinson. Like, this dude can do everything as a running back. And so Atlanta, again, between 20 to 25 touches, get him the ball. And that's something that the Falcons have actually done a good job of throughout these two games, is they have gotten Bijan going. And so I think for the Falcons, they're gonna have to continue to do that in this game. Get him the ball, get him involved. But I also want to see Kyle Pitts. I mean, I've been waiting for this man to come through, to show up, to show us that this guy is worthy of being the 4th overall pick in the draft the way he was 3 years ago. And then, look, I know he's had injuries and whatnot, but I think this matchup against Kansas City is made for him to break out, because statistically, Kansas City has not done well defending tight ends. And so for Kyle Pitts, hey, what you gonna do, big fella? You know, what you gonna do? And so I'm just waiting for this man to show up, man. And I think he can do it. I think he's capable of showing up in this game. I think the Falcons have to do a better job of getting him involved a little bit, get him some touches. I want to see Kyle Pitts get going. The Falcons need to get him involved. I think this is due for him to have a breakout game where he gets like 7 catches for 90 plus to 100 yards. Like I think this needs to be a Kyle Pitts type of game. I think the Falcons in the last game, I think they did a good job of, Ray McCloud. He's been a nice little mild surprise as a third receiver. I like what he's doing. Darnell Mooney had a huge game, and so kudos to him. He stepped up big. And hey, I mean, Drake London had some big catches too. But we need to get Kyle Pitts going. I'm just waiting for this man to join the party. And look, for the Falcons, I think the one thing they also need to continue doing, which is what I thought they did in the Eagle game, keep the flow balanced. The Falcons against Philly ran the ball 29. No, they threw the ball 29 times and they ran it 28 times. And so the balance was there, and I think that's something that needs to continue in this game. Be balanced. Keep a balanced attack. And if the Falcons can do that, I think they have a chance. And for Kirk Cousins, I thought he played really good in the second half. I thought he got better as the game went on against Philly. Let's see if he can carry that momentum in this game. And, look, I know he's been, there's been all this talk about him not doing well in primetime games. And, you look at the stats, in his primetime games, he's won 4 out of 5 in primetime. After, I think he was like 0-9 or 0-10 or whatever. And so, you've seen that trend pick up. Let's see if it can continue. If he can continue this trend up in these big primetime caliber games. And so I think this is a fascinating matchup. I'm not gonna lie to you, as a Falcon fan, I'm nervous. I'm nervous because because with the way Kansas City's been, I'm gonna say struggling, but they've been kind of meh, on both sides of the ball. I'm nervous that this is the type of game where they just flex their muscles and they just show the Falcons that, like, hey, we're the Chiefs. We're still here. We're the Super Bowl champions. What's up? And so I don't want that. I don't want that as a Falcon fan. I don't want that. And so I'm looking for the Falcons to step up to the challenge and, see if they can, find a way to get another dub, coming up, and we can, get this thing up to being 2-1. And so I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to this matchup. And hey, that's what I got. And and look, man, again, keep on subscribing to this channel. Like, comment, share with your family and friends. And hey, I'm all for the love, man. I appreciate the love that I've gotten so far on this channel, and keep it coming. And so with that out of the way, those are my thoughts on this matchup between the Falcons and Chiefs. And I'll be back next time for another episode. Talk soon.